Starting with emerging adulthood, we decided to use the movie The Blind Side to display the changes in roles and occupations that emerging adult faces. Go! First, we examine Michael and his peak athletic ability during emerging adulthood, here being displayed by his dominance on the football field. In this next scene, we see Michael studying with his tutor. This represents the peak cognitive abilities and emerging adult experiences. The patterns he establishes here will most likely stay consistent throughout his life, so making sure he focuses on healthy habits such as studying and taking care of his body are important.
It's full of knowledge, like a file cabinet with maps and shortcuts for figuring things out.
Establishing self-identity is significant as well in this developmental stage. Here we have Michael making tough choices on who he wants to associate himself with. This also plays into how he views his adopted family versus biological mother. Lastly, we see Michael getting dropped off at college with his family, showing a transition from home life to close family to a more independent lifestyle away from home. This is one of his first steps towards establishing himself as an adult and transitioning into young adulthood.
Young adulthood can be characterized by mainly social and occupational transitions. Because individuals in the young adulthood stage of development still primarily maintain their prime physical shape and cognitive functioning, these are the years where the focus turns to building relationships and starting families, as well as beginning to establish one's role in their career. The social and occupational establishment can be seen in the development of Jim and Pam's relationship on The Office. They are both at the beginning of this stage of development and are working towards establishing their place at the office. As their work occupational roles became more established, then the pair evolves into forming a relationship with one another, a typical characteristic for individuals within this stage of adulthood. From then on, relationships usually become more established through marriage and starting a family. This is where you can see major role changes in adults from being an independent to a caregiver. Once this stage is established, this creates a strong base for adults to grow as parents and as employees, and allow them to move on to greater marital satisfaction and job satisfaction during the middle adulthood stage of development.
Look, Phil, I need you to take care of dinner for me.
What's wrong?
Oh, Alex ripped Haley's favorite sweater.
This clip from the show Modern Family illustrates the challenges of middle adulthood surrounding family life. Claire is running around trying to solve problems for her children while also trying to balance other household tasks that need to be accomplished, such as cooking dinner. There has to be compromise between parents when trying to achieve all of these tasks.
Never know the difference.
Phil, could you just take care of dinner, sweetie? That's all I'm asking. That's it.
Here you can see Phil beginning to transition into a more passive and feminine role as he is at the spa, and Claire becoming more assertive. These are common gender role transitions that begin in middle adulthood. Despite the challenges of parenting growing children, there is an increased marital satisfaction as the children become older and more independent. Adults in this stage also form closer relationships with siblings, as well as experience a peak of career success and job expertise, such as Phil in his role as a real estate agent. This is the age range where people begin to notice small declines in physical and cognitive abilities, such as vision or memory, as well as a general increase in weight and girth. Changes are not significant until later in the stage into older adulthood, but they can be detected. Physical activity and challenging oneself cognitively is important to slow down these declines. The movie Up shows a clear depiction of the changes that occur in older adulthood functioning. Carl and his wife Ellie are both in older adulthood and are experiencing a high level of marital satisfaction at this time in their relationship. Carl and Ellie have been saving up for the trip of a lifetime to Paradise Falls, but just as Carl and Ellie finally seem to be able to take their trip after he has retired from his job of selling balloons and her job as zookeeper, Ellie contracts an illness and dies of old age, leaving Carl living by himself, becoming bitter, cranky, and missing his wife terribly. Settling into his home, Carl looks through Ellie's childhood scrapbook and finds a note from Ellie that says, "Thanks for the adventure, now go have a new one," which is just the encouragement he needs to redefine his life goals and continue enjoying his own life.
Lastly, these clips from the movie The Notebook show Allie and Noah, two lovebirds since they were young, adapt as they transition into late adulthood. As you can see, they are both continuing to grow through primary aging, as both of them wear glasses and Allie uses a cane to help her walk. Both of them have very small social networks, as the only people they encounter are healthcare professionals and close family members. Noah tells Allie the story of how they met, the reason that gives them both a sense of meaning. Noah must transition into the role of a caregiver, as his wife Allie, now a care receiver, deals with Alzheimer's and lives in a nursing home. Mental and physical health risks are the cause of major change in this stage of development. Even with their health declining, Noah wants both him and Allie to live to the best of their abilities for as long as possible. They end up passing away together happily and peacefully, lying next to each other and holding hands. As they transition through the stages of adulthood, their love for each other remained constant.